Before Cindy, before Naomi, before supermodel was even a word, there was Gia. She wasn't just a face, she was a force. Wild, electric, unapologetically herself, Gia Karangi lit up the fashion world like no one before her. But just as quickly as she rose, she vanished, leaving behind a story that still haunts the industry today. She was beautiful, broken, bold, and gone far too soon. This is the story of Gia Marie Karangi, the supermodel who couldn't be saved. At 17, Gia moved to New York. She had no connections, no plan, just that face. When she walked into Wilhelmina Models, the legendary Wilhelmina Cooper signed her on the spot. Gia was the opposite of everything the industry had seen. No blonde curls, no perfect polish, just raw, rare beauty. She was fearless. Her breakout moment? A provocative shoot with photographer Chris von Wangenheim, nude behind a chain-link fence with makeup artist Sandy Linter. The fashion world couldn't look away. Soon, she was walking for Versace, Armani, Calvin Klein, Yves Saint Laurent, shot by icons like Helmut Newton and Arthur Elgort. She even appeared in Blondie's Atomic music video. Gia was everywhere. But while the cameras saw glamour behind the scenes, she was coming undone. Gia found escape in New York's wild nightlife, CBGB, Mud Club, and Studio 54. Cocaine flowed like champagne, and heroin was the drug of choice. When Wilhelmina Cooper died in 1980, Gia lost the one person who grounded her. And that's when the descent began. At first, she snorted heroin. Then, she started injecting. Fashion shows turned into no-shows. Photo shoots were interrupted by drug runs. At one Versace shoot, Gia told the crew she was stepping out for cigarettes and never came back. Her arms showed track marks. Her eyes lost their spark. Heroin took everything. Soon, the jobs stopped coming. Friends turned away. And Gia, once the face of fashion, was now just a cautionary tale. She tried to get clean, rehab, relapses, second chances. But it was never enough. She sold jeans at a mall, worked in a nursing home cafeteria, slept on couches. The supermodel was gone. And in December 1985, she was diagnosed with AIDS. On November 18, 1986, Gia Karangi died at just 26 years old. No one in fashion even knew. Her funeral was quiet, unnoticed. Gia was the world's first supermodel, and its first fallen angel. She came from nothing, became everything, and then faded into nothing again. But in every smoky photo, every wild runway walk, every broken smile, Gia lives on. Remember her name, Gia, a tale of what not to be. This isn't a tabloid headline. It's not a scandal to dissect over morning coffee, or a headline crafted for clicks. It's a haunting tragedy, quiet, devastating, and real. It's the story of a woman who broke down before the world's eyes and was left to fall alone. Karen Mulder, the supermodel the world chose to forget. Karen Mulder wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic, one of the original supermodels who helped define an era. In the 1990s, her face adorned the covers of Vogue, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar. She floated down the runways for Chanel, Dior, and Valentino with grace that made her seem otherworldly. Alongside the likes of Naomi Campbell, Claudia Schiffer, and Cindy Crawford, Karen wasn't just part of the fashion world, she was its heartbeat. But when the music stopped and the lights dimmed, Karen did something unthinkable. She told the truth, and the world punished her for it. Karen Mulder was born in the Netherlands in 1970. Raised in a modest family in the small town of Vlaardingen, she lived a quiet, middle-class life before fate intervened.
The way I started modeling was through the Look of the Year, and it kind of happened by accident because friends sent in pictures to the Look of the Year in Holland, and I never actually thought of being a model, especially 7 years ago. Everybody wanted to be an actress or a singer, but
Right.
nobody really wanted to be a model like today. But I think it's a great way to, enter this.
At 15, she entered and won the prestigious Elite Model Look competition. Overnight, her life changed. Her classical features, porcelain skin, and serene expression set her apart. There was something both divine and distant in her beauty, something that made people stop and stare. Soon, Karen was flying to Paris, Milan, and New York, gracing every major runway and working with fashion's most influential figures. She became one of Victoria's Secret's earliest angels, and in the eyes of the world, she had it all: fame, fortune, glamour. But beneath the surface of luxury and applause, a silent war was raging. Being a supermodel wasn't all diamonds and champagne. Karen's world was one of relentless pressure, impossible beauty standards, and constant surveillance. Her body was a product, her face a brand, her life curated and controlled. She was told how to dress, how to walk, how to smile, and eventually, how to be silent. As the fashion world celebrated her perfection, Karen was slowly unraveling. She began to suffer from what has happened. She confided in friends that she felt like a puppet, a commodity passed between hands more powerful than hers. And then, in 2001, she finally spoke out. In what should have been a moment of reckoning for the fashion industry, Karen gave an interview on French television that never made it to air. She claimed she had been raped, multiple times, by men in positions of power within the fashion world, including influential executives, royals, politicians, and individuals close to her modeling career. She said she tried to speak up, to report it, to seek justice. But instead of being believed, she was gaslit, threatened, and medicated into silence. Rather than investigate her claims, the network shelved the footage. Within days, Karen was forcibly admitted into a psychiatric hospital. The headlines didn't call for accountability. They questioned her sanity. The story wasn't Karen Mulder tells all. It became Karen Mulder loses her mind. What followed was a slow and painful descent. Karen attempted suicide, but did she really? She battled deep depression. Her credibility was shredded. Her name associated more with instability than with her achievements. She tried to return to modeling, even explored music, but the doors that once opened so eagerly now stayed shut. By 2002, she was hospitalized again. The fashion world had moved on. There was no apology, no acknowledgement, only silence. Today, Karen Mulder lives a life far removed from the spotlight. She retreated into near-total privacy, choosing peace over the chaos that once consumed her. She never published a tell-all. She made no dramatic public return. She disappeared, not because she lacked relevance, but because she was too dangerous to remember. Too honest, too human, too broken. Karen's story is not one of scandal, it's one of sorrow. It's a reminder of how quick the world is to adore a woman for her beauty, and how equally quick it is to abandon her when she dares to speak the truth they can swallow. We loved Karen Mulder when she was silent, smiling, and perfect. We erased her when she told the truth. And yet, her story remains. A warning, a whisper, a wound the industry never healed. Behind the perfect photos and curated fantasies lies a real woman who tried to be heard and was forgotten.